About year 3. Remember, Brian Kelly's been the one.
He's leading his charge.
He's the one that said, "Hey, look, don't look at me and judge me yet. Wait until year 3." Here we are.
So much more like what I'm used to, but that's usually what happens in year 3 for me. Everywhere I've been, the third year has been really successful. So I think the third year here is feeling very comfortable in terms of the standards and the expectations and how everybody has really adapted to the style and the expectations. So again, you got to go do it on the field, and you do it with being successful on Saturdays, but the day-to-day really starts to feel like we're in a really good position.
Not that it means everything, but can we get him a better background?
That's his office.
I know it's his office. Can we square up the camera angle to get the window out of the shot? And then can we dress the desk up a little more?
Right, we could get a little more square
picture. I mean, we're
picture
always recruiting, right? I mean, that's what I always hear from. You're always recruiting. You're always recruiting. 24/7.
You want to make the
all right, sweet. I mean,
ABC.
if we're always recruiting, this is a good opportunity to show off a little bit of what like some accomplishments, maybe a couple of trophies, maybe a Heisman.
Maybe
you should go do it in the trophy room.
Yeah. Ooh,
but the window.
Yeah,
very drab.
It is a very weird picture.
The open laptop and a couple of helmets. I mean, it's like
and a game ball.
And he's not like you said. He's not square to the camera.
Square it up a little bit.
No, they want that perspective, so it seems like it's bigger than it really is. Everything's all about angles, Coach.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe I'm picking nits.
No,
Blake Baker, new defensive coordinator. Here he is talking to Pikel on 3 about his thoughts on Baker.
Pikel.
Well, I think when you look at college football, it's, not only do you need to recruit, you need to engage. And I think, his ability to recruit and engage his players. And then obviously at the end of the day, have success with the guys that he's engaging on a day-to-day basis. In my limited exposure to him when I first came on, I was able to spend some time with him, and I really liked his ability to relate to the players. And Matt House is a smart football coach. He was dealt a very difficult situation here, and I needed somebody to come in and really build the confidence back in our football team, and I felt Blake carried himself that way, extremely confident in what he does and how he does it, and he engaged his players that way. So that made him the right fit for me.
There he is talking about Blake Baker, newly hired defensive coordinator at LSU. Here's more from Brian Kelly talking about how LSU is going to use Harold Perkins in this upcoming season.
Well, certainly we didn't maximize Harold last year, and that's not, again, a knock on Harold or the coaches, but the reality of it is he's an elite athlete that we have to get on track this year. So both Harold has got to play better, and our coaches have to get him involved more. So that's an important piece of what we do in the spring, and certainly where he fits within our defensive structure is going to be job one for us. So, again, I think that everybody that watched last year would say, that's a guy that needs to play at a higher level, and that starts with coaching, and that starts with Harold really working hard in this offseason.
Last one with On 3 and Brian Kelly. Great interview if you want to go check it out over at On 3. But here he is talking about the quarterback development and Garrett Nussmeier.
I think more than anything else is his development. I mean, this is still a young man that is going to get better over time. I mean, he's going to get all the reps that he hasn't gotten. And we saw glimpses of Garrett Nussmeier with very few reps. And I think all of us collectively really liked what we saw. And so I think what's exciting for me is a guy that's really going to get a lot of the reps and is going to get better and better. We got a glimpse of it against Wisconsin, and as the game unfolded and he got more comfortable, he leads us on a 90-plus yard drive at the end of the game. And I think there's more to come, and that's the exciting part.
There is Brian Kelly with a couple of sound bites coming out from yesterday's interview at On 3 with J.D. Piquel and the crew. If you want to go check that out, you can at on3.com. Good conversation with Brian Kelly. They're talking about year 3. And as we said, we've really kind of highlighted that because of Brian Kelly really pointing it out and been the one to really mile mark year 3 as being a true evaluation of where the program is under his direction. And as we've, said, and there he said it once again publicly, here we are. We're at year 3. So you'll have a good opportunity to really give a true analysis on where LSU is under Kelly's leadership. And, up to this point, I would say without question, you're talking about a B to B plus type performance, in the first 2 years. Same thing that, we're going to talk to Matt McMahon here in a couple of minutes. And, I think that we've really asked McMahon about the challenges and don't really want to get back into that. But, very comparable in the sense of it was a restart. It was a reset. LSU, from a football standpoint, they were sub 40 scholarship players on the roster. At some level, it was being debated on whether or not it was even physically you were even physically able to play a game. Is it truly safe to do that? And from the basketball standpoint, they had 2 scholarship players on the roster when McMahon had to start rebuilding the thing. So to come where they have, where they started from, 2 years for Kelly, closing in on 2 years for McMahon. The program, in talking about football selectively right now, it's very much, he was tasked of pointing it in the right direction, clearing up a lot of the bad PR and the bad vibes around LSU football that at the time he took over. And all that stuff's been pretty much accomplished. Now it's time to really become a consistent contender for a national championship. And while it's been flirting the first 2 years, where you felt like maybe you have an outside chance, and if you get in, you can possibly make a run at it. Now here in year 3, it's about putting a product on the floor or on the field year in, year out that has a chance to win it all. And at LSU, you have those resources. You have those types of recruiting grounds. You have those types of financial commitments. You have the staff, the facilities, everything you need to compete at the highest level. And now here under Kelly in year 3, his direction, shape should really start taking place.